RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
Okie dokie, pokies. What's happening? This is Tara Devlin. Just checking my mic. I look like shit. I look great. Hi, unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. Thank you for hanging out. We meet here every Friday evening from 8:30-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time at this place where we are right now. And this show is also rebroadcast on the Progressive Voices app on Sunday. And there you go. What else? Become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. That'll help keep the show going and growing. I also have a show on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with my co-host Tara Dublin. It's called The Tara Show on the Political Voices Network. And if you haven't subscribed to that, please do. All the links are in the whatever the hell bottom, below in the description. And I see you, Ed. Nice to see you in the chat. And Mike, nice to see you. Yes, welcome back, Tara. Thank you. We weren't here last week because my niece got married, and it was great, and also very, emotional too, I have to say. How does it sound, actually? How does the audio sound? I don't know. Where's Jim? Oh, it sounds all right. Where's my Jim? Hi, Josie. Nice to see you in the chat. Nice to see everybody. Welcome back. Yeah, you know what? I don't know. It was very. Let me see. Where was I going with that? Yeah, it was sad and happy. I'm getting old, and my niece is now she's all grown up. So it was touching. And I couldn't have asked for a better partner for her if I ordered him up from the universe myself. He's a great guy. So, but I used to change her diapers, so I was crying when they were getting married. No, but not in a bad way. It was one of those. It was like happy joy, bittersweet, poignant, circle of life type tears. All right, yeah. Anyway, I'm over it now. No, I'm just kidding. They went on their honeymoon. And this is what actually sucks, to tell you the truth, because they got a van down by the river. Now, they're not living in a van down by the river, but they I don't know if they bought the van or they rented it, but it's like an RV, and they're going around the country to go all the different national parks, seeing a lot of landmarks in America, touring the country. And I was talking to my nephew-in-law. He's well aware of how the unelected South African sociopath and the baboon and the flying monkeys have destroyed the national parks at this, not a good time in their life. The timing couldn't be worse. So we'll see what they encounter if they've been going different places so far. They haven't gone to Yosemite yet, so we'll see. Or the Grand Canyon, all these places. They're going all over the country, so. And we're following along on Instagram. They're having fun, and it's nice that they can take us along with them. So, how do I sound? I gotta get into new headphones. I don't know. Hi, Jim. Nice to see you, Jim. Thank you for being a moderator in our chat room, and also being a moderator on the Tara Show, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Political Voices Network. And I sound okay. All right. Thank you. That's fine. Okay is good. We'll take it, right? Thank you, Ed. Also, thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News, for all you do to keep the show going and growing, and all for the community cats, too. That helps keep them going and growing. So, thank goodness the cold seems to be behind us. So, yeah. I always get a feeling of relief when we get through the winter. Because whenever the winter storms come, I think, oh, how are the cats doing outside? So, all right, where do we begin? Let's see. I have to ask, the people on the Political Voices Network, the way they set up the show is good because you can all come in and into the chat room before the show starts. I wish I could I don't know how to do that. I tried to, and those buttons on my system are all grayed out, so I have to see what buttons I don't have pressed correctly. So I would like that. Yeah, it would be good to just you guys be able to come into the chat room and chat while I'm preparing to start the show. So I got to figure that out, like everything else. Also, okay, if you haven't become a subscriber on Substacks to the Political Voices Network, please do. And we got a lot of hopes for that network. So also I would like to, I don't know, keep the show going and growing, but I've been writing a lot over there, and I don't know, I hope it makes a dent in the fascist shitstorm that's upon us. It's a nightmare. And I wanted to go over one of the articles that I wrote for the Political Voices Network called, and this article took me all day to write, but this is based on a speech by Senator Chris Murphy on Trump's 100th, the 100th day in office, the first 100 days of his second maladministration. So Senator Murphy took to the floor of the Senate and detailed he didn't do all 40. So he had 40 acts of corruption. My voice is a little shot tonight, just letting you guys know. I don't know if you can hear it. And I'm, looking a little frazzled. I'm feeling a little so under the weather. But it's all right. We don't take a day off in fascism, especially since I never really take a day off, except for last week. That was unavoidable. So, all right. So, if you missed it, and here's the thing. I didn't hear anything about this on corporate media, and I know this is one of the hallmarks of fascism. The tactics are to open up the fire hose, do everything at breakneck speed. And that is in Project 2025, where they were going to, and make no mistake, this is a assault on the system that the founders fought a revolution to create and entrust to us. They are destroying America. I don't care how many giant 100-foot flag poles the con man puts in the, on the White House lawn. They love the performance of patriotism because the substance of patriotism is beyond them. They hate America. I wish I was wrong. And I just wrote another article tonight, right before I went on air, an article for the Political Voices Network about another thing that they did today, or maybe it was yesterday, it passed, where they, attacking veterans. They just undid a very popular policy that helped veterans who were underwater in their mortgages stay in their homes. So not, giving them a free ride like they do the billionaires. They give veterans the government would buy up their distressed mortgages, and then the veterans would pay it back at a lower interest rate. Why the F not? Isn't that better than having homeless veterans on the street? Don't we owe each other that much? I mean, the dignity of our veterans the dignity of this country is at stake. But the Republicans hate this country, and they don't give a shit. And I have to tell you, any veteran who votes Republican, it's another, I don't know, episode in How Much Do You Hate Yourself to vote Republican. And as somebody who actually wore the uniform of this country, it makes me sick how people are that dumb. You know, how the corporate media gives the Republicans the veteran vote. Just, you know, they got it, you know, hands down, the Republicans. Veterans vote Republican. Why? And I could tell you why. That's why you're here. I'm not even, you know, not to burst the bubble here. It's propaganda. That's why. Just like I saw today, they were saying that there's a new poll that says 60 or no, how did they put it? Well, I'll let you know when we come back. I hear the music. Hold on. This is Tara Devlin, Unapologetic Liberal Talk. Be right back. All right, we're back. And so today, let me look this up actually. I saw there was a poll that said 60% of the American people, which is a pretty large percent given the divided nature of this country, 60% of Americans, I'm just typing as I'm talking, Americans have a negative view, or I guess I could say view, of Democrats, of the Democratic Party. Democratic Party. Let's see. And as you, let's see. I see you guys talking about Randy Rhoads retiring. I know. Sucks. I'm losing my voice. It's not even 15 minutes into the show and I'm losing my voice. Do I still do a show on Wednesday with Robyn Kincaid? Yeah, if we got to figure it out. I couldn't do it last week because of the wedding, and then this week we didn't discuss it. I don't know. I think I was busy. The thing is, we don't have Skype. They ended Skype. That's how we were connecting, and we got to figure out how to connect. I could call Robyn on Zoom. We're going to have to do this offline, though, you know. I don't know. We got to talk about it, how to figure it out. Because we have to do it in a way where her show is routed into my show and vice versa. So that's the problem. And hopefully, well, I haven't even discussed it with Robyn, but before I went away. So we'll have to talk about it this coming week. And hopefully we could still do it. Yeah, and as far as Randy Rhoads, that was a shock to me, too. So, I think something's going on, you know. She's got a health crisis happening, which is pretty shitty. But I know that years ago, she had a health scare. So, yeah, it was pretty quick, right? Announced it one day. Yeah, I think it was announced that week, and then she retired on Wednesday. But yeah, I miss her too. Hopefully she'll be back. I know she's on Substack, so I'm actually getting very I'm getting to love Substack, let's just say, more than, not just because I'm writing on there for the Political Voices Network, but I'm kind of getting how it goes, how it is. I didn't kind of understand it before, but it's really more like Twitter. It's better than Twitter, of course, because there's really no Nazis. It's not a safe space for Nazis, but it has same features where you can well, it's called the restacking, and but I don't know. Yeah, check it out, please. Follow me, follow Tara Dublin, follow the Political Voices Network universe of, I guess that's me, and who else is on there? Not Randy Rhoads. That's what we're talking about. Randy. Tom Hartman is on there. Of course, Stephanie Miller, John Fugelsang, me, the Tara Show, and others who are great. Many others. Rick Smith. I love Rick Smith. He's like a labor history Well, labor historian. We need more of that. And what was I talking about? Okay, before we got off track. Oh, yeah, 60% of the American people have a negative view of the Democratic Party. Recent polling shows that the Democratic Party's favorability among Americans has reached historic lows. And I'm going to write an article about this. I have to. For the Political Voices Substack, okay? Because it's not a mystery. The reason is because propaganda works. That's why. Just like how veterans vote for Republicans, because propaganda works. And before we get into the corruption article, let me just go through a little bit of the article I just wrote and put up at the Substack. If you go to politicalvoices.com, it's right there at the top. Republicans just made more homeless veterans. Let me show the screen here. Okay. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. We'll just go through some of the highlights. So, I mean, and as someone who actually wore the uniform of this country, and as I start off there, it baffles me why anyone who served would ever vote Republican. And forget that. Any civilian, too. Anybody who works for a living. Anybody who's not a, trust fund brat who gets to bankrupt his trust fund 6 times, bankrupt a casino, and fail at everything he's ever done. Right? But even then, when I was saying that, what the thought that came into my mind, it's, if you're not rich, why do you vote Republican? But if you're rich, why do you vote Republican? Shame on you. Really. Because it's really not about the party, of course. It's about the policies. It's about maintaining a system of government that the founders entrusted to us. And I'm sorry if you don't like that, Republicans. I'm sorry if you want an oligarchy. That's not this thing. That's not this country. Fuck off to Liberland, F off. Go to Russia. Go to Saudi Arabia. Go to North Korea, your dreamland. Or at least that's your Jesus God King's dreamland. Go. But you don't, just because you don't like a constitutionally limited democratic republic, nation of laws that promotes the general welfare over the welfare of a few friggin' assholes at the top that have that's never enough. It's never enough for them, is it? Right? That's what's so disgusting. Just because you don't like it, because you want to steal. You want to do it. You want more money. You don't want to have to bother with the regulations. You want to just dump your corporate poison into our commons, into the America the Beautiful. You don't want to have to consider the impact on the community, right? Because you just want to make a buck. Right? The community be damned. You don't want to have to share the profits that the labor of the American people makes possible in the first place. You just want it all. Just because you don't like democracy, you don't like the nation of laws, that doesn't mean you get to destroy it while wrapping yourself in the flag. How dare you, So how dare, and that's why I always say, how dare everyone, we're in this, everyone who voted Republican, let me finish that sentence, not just everyone in general, but, anyone who voted for these people, shame on you. And as we were talking about it on the Tara show the other day, the fact that, some of them are seeing the light now that their pocketbooks are being assaulted. Well, okay, but what about the racism? Right? That wasn't enough for you. You don't care. they didn't care about the others being hurt. They didn't care about, a con man coming down an escalator calling Mexicans rapists. That was okay. You didn't care about the divisive fascist tactics that, we should. Any actual patriot should smell that stench a mile away. But I don't know. What can I say? I'm just a little Tarabuster over here, And I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of the gaslighting. I'm sick of the corporate media saying, oh, well, veterans vote for Republicans. Well, maybe they wouldn't if you gave them the rundown, frankly. Because let's go through some of it. And this ain't all of it either. I just wanted to finish the article before we got on. See, that's my problem here. I have my issue. I was talking about it before. I have to learn how to edit myself. I can go on and on. Like, I can go on 10-page paper on this. I got to know when to stop. You know what I mean? Because there's a whole other... And I was thinking, well, have the Republicans ever done... have they passed anything or sponsored any bills that... as far as, for themselves, have they have they sponsored any bills that help veterans, even though, of course they need Democratic votes to pass. And the fact is, it's no. When the Republicans have never initiated any bill to help veterans, and that's not to say that they don't sometimes join in passing Democratic bills. So, and but for the most part, whenever they get an opportunity, they hurt veterans. They take every opportunity to, cut the lifelines and destroy the programs that give veterans and others opportunities. That's what they do. Like, okay, here's an example. In Trump's first maladministration, they passed the Mission Act, something called the Mission Act. And this was the camel's nose under the tent for the VA's privatization. I can't talk, some words are hard. The real mission, of course, that the Republicans ever engage in is to make the rich richer. That's all. If the rich can't get rich, if they can't treat you as a host from which to suck profit and discard, they don't want any part of it. The Republicans will not sign on to it. So everything that they talk about, with this Mission Act, they were saying, oh, it's going to help veterans' choice. It will give them options. And all it does is, like I said, open the door for privatization, which is a hard word for me. And meanwhile, they're cutting the budgets for the VA. That is the scam. This is what we're seeing all throughout our government now. So, and I'm sure you'll be surprised. And this was in 2018, this Mission Act. And I'm sure you'll be surprised to learn that the only thing this so-called Mission Act did was it made care more expensive. Okay? Isn't that what they do? Just like what happened with Elon Musk. Oh, he saved the Department of... Oh, wait. I hit the wrong button, but hey, that's a perfect video to play. There's your president, everybody. And for those who are on the audio only, it's the video of Trump filleting a microphone. Wow. Can you believe that? Can you believe what we had, what that is? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And look at their fucking faces in the background. I'm just making this smaller so you can see. Ha ha ha, look at here. Look at the guy over his shoulder. Wee! He's sucking off a microphone. Make America great. Motherfuckers. It's disgraceful. What a fucking disgrace that we have to endure. What a disgrace. What an embarrassment. Right? God. What is wrong with you, Republicans? What is wrong with you? You know, I keep thinking about my freaking doctor voting for this scumbag. I can't wait to go back. People are like, get a different doctor. I should. I just got him out of like a book. You know, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, here, I'll go there. For those who don't know, when I went to my checkup, they asked me, they ask if you're depressed or whatever. And this was before the scumbag was sworn in. I was like, well, I don't look forward to the next 4 years. And then he's like, oh, you don't like Trump? Huh? And he said he voted for him because, crime and all this other shit. That it was bullshit. Crime is down in New York. Okay? This is just a fact. I know that this shit happens. There's always crime. But, if you look on Fox News, it's like Mad Max here. But not anymore, of course. Immediately, those stories stopped. Even though everything's worse. It's going to get worse, by the way. As we know, the ports are empty now. And I was listening to Stephanie Miller yesterday, and someone called in who worked at the docks in San Diego. And he said that, it's quite an eerie sight. There's no ships coming in. There's nothing. There was like one ship there, and it was on its way out. The Chinese, you think the Chinese are calling this con man? Of course not. They are happy to eat his lunch. They're playing the long game. It's disgusting. And he's out there, oh, they're all calling. Everyone's calling. I made 200 deals. I thought there was like 190 something countries. He's making so many deals. We couldn't tell. By the way, he's walking around pointing at where to put a 100-foot flagpole on the lawn and golfing. Fuck these people. I'm so sick of them. It's only 100 days? God. Deals. He's making deals, everybody. He's gonna fuck us. And good. I guess this is what, the maggots wanted. I hope it don't hurt too little, maggots. God, how stupid. And the gaslighting. And that's why we're here. All right. It really is the gaslighting. Where is it? Where is that article? Where did I put you, article? So, yeah, everything that Republicans touch, they destroy. In 2022, the Senate Republicans blocked the Honoring Our Pact Act, the bill to help veterans exposed to toxic burn pits and chemicals. Yeah, 25 Republicans voted to let veterans die of cancer. And this is not a one-off. I can't even believe I'm reading these words, And then I got to listen to the corporate media go on about how veterans vote Republican. And that in itself is like a self-fulfilling prophecy, too. Just like during the campaign with the stupid polls. Everybody being polled. I hate the economy. Oh, it sucks. I hate Biden. He sucks. Trump would be better for the economy. We think, despite the fact of math and reality and our own goddamn eyes. And, but we kept hearing it. Well, everybody thinks that Trump's better for the economy. I guess he is, despite the fact he left the last time with a million corpses behind him and the worst jobs record since Herbert effing Hoover. How come? I mean, these are the stats that are on the tip of my tongue. And this is not what we don't, on the corporate media. We don't hear that. We just hear the polls. They think he's better for the economy. We'll set them straight, for fuck's sake, before before it's too late. Well, and it is at this point. You know how much work we're going to have to do when all this shit is over? God help us. And God help us, too, with Chuck Schumer and these mothers in the leadership positions. That's why. Hold on. 60% hate the Democrats or whatever, have an unfavorable view. That's why. So, all right, I'm back. Unapologetic liberal talk. Become a patron. Patreon.com/TaraDevlin. You can also do like one-off donations at the PayPal link in the description. All right. You got to do that shit. You got to e-beg shit. And if you can't support financially, because these are tough times and more tough times ahead, share the show with your friends and all that, because this is how we're going to win. And I'm not just saying that, I've been up since friggin', ass o'clock. I'm tired. I don't feel well, but I'm still here, and that's how we gotta do it. And I mean, I'm not just saying, look at me, I'm so great. I'm just saying that we're not gonna get this on the corporate media. The fact is, the Republicans and the conservatives, whatever the hell they are, the maggots, were, smart. The billionaires understood, because they have nothing to offer, that they wanted, wherever the American sucker went, they wanted them to meet their message. Okay? And that's why we're in this boat, too. Propaganda. That's why they're like, oh, veterans vote Republican, in spite of the fact that they've never done a fucking thing for a veteran. Prove me wrong. If I am wrong, let me know, because we will talk about it. And I will add it to the article. I'll add an edit. Say, hey, I was wrong. Here's something that the Republicans did to help veterans. All on their own. But I'm not wrong. Because I'm research. I know this anyway. But, I'm doing a lot of research too. So, yeah, where else? In 2024, they proposed slashing $2.3 billion from affordable housing, homelessness, and community development programs, including those that help veterans. And let me see. Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't finish the other thing, because they blocked, the 25 Republicans blocked the PACT Act, or the Honoring Our PACT Act. And then this is why what we're doing matters right here, because after that was in July of 2022, they blocked it. And after outrage and the hearing from their constituents and whatnot, they reversed it. So after public outrage, it finally passed. But at this time, still 11 Republicans voted against it. So it passed by a whisker. And 11 Republicans. I wonder if their constituents, confronted them with this, right? But I'm sure a lot of their constituents are Fox News victims / viewers, so they don't hear about it. All they hear is Republicans love the troops. They support the troops. They do. They love the troops. They make very stirring backdrops to their photo ops. But when it comes to actually supporting the troops, fuck that. Forget it. They got to, billionaires need their tax cuts, honey. They don't have enough money, don't you know? They don't have enough They already have enough to buy politicians and corrupt government to make sure that the wheels are greased and on their bank account, making it easier to steal and suppress working class power. But, it's still not enough. They want it all. And that, what that looks like, everyone? It looks like the very system, the same system the founders overthrew. The one that this country is supposed to be the antidote to. Where the rich run and rule everything and eat up all the earthly rewards, while the plebeians await their rewards in heaven, compliantly, not pestering their betters. Just stop me if I'm wrong. Please. Let's see. So they slashed 2.3 from affordable housing, and then the Republicans directed the Agricultural Committee. Why are there so many hard words? Something wrong with my mouth here tonight. Directed the Agricultural Committee, that's good enough, to cut $230 billion from programs. Billion. I sound like Trump. Everything's billion, trillion, black. That's how he says black. Billion from programs under its jurisdiction for the next decade. And this is a tax on the SNAP program, which is only getting worse now. These are all the precursors to now, now, in Trump's maladministration, let's just go through February, okay? January, they're getting their feet wet, but the blitzkrieg was starting. So, in February, Republicans introduced the so-called Veterans Access Act to supposedly loosen access to private care. Then they presented like, isn't it a wonderful choice? Veterans need choice, right? No, the fact is, the veterans, people who are in the VA, love the VA once they can get into it. But, of course, now it's going to suck more. It's going to be harder for veterans to get services because the Republicans have destroyed it. And it's in the list here. They fired over 6,000 veterans from the VA. And they plan, and other federal agencies, but they plan on firing 80,000 more. That's the thanks you get when you serve your country here in the greatest, God-loving, best country ever created for a con man to destroy. So 52 this is in February still, 52 senators vote against an amendment to protect the PACT Act. And as we know, they just go after this constantly. These are benefits for toxic exposed veterans. They want the veterans to just die, for fuck's sake. Just, they need the money for the billionaires. Elon Musk needs more money to destroy America. Yeah, and it's part of the Republican, concept of a healthcare plan. Don't get sick, and if you do, die quickly. That's what they want. And prove me wrong, because if that's not the case, then why are you blocking health care for toxic exposed veterans? Who put their asses on the line for this country and got themselves exposed to toxic things that hurt them. That's why, it's just so fucked up to think, even when it comes to the 9/11 first responders, the fact that they have to go to Washington at all and beg these pricks for health care. What a sick country, right? But it's not completely sick. It's the freaking right-wingers. They're sick, and they're making us sick. The country's fucked up because of them. Sometimes I think about how this country could be, and it breaks my heart. But it takes a level of maturity. It takes a level of decency. You gotta want to have a functioning society that works for everybody. You gotta be an adult in a way. You gotta want to come to the table, and you have to want to work with people that may not be like you. You have to understand, what this thing is about. You understand why we don't want church and state intertwined and things like that. Why we need an educated populace. Why we need a Department of Education. I mean, all of the things that are required to have a true shining city on a hill, they go after, they hate, they destroy. Jesus Christ. Stop me when I'm wrong. So, okay, let's see. House Republicans pass a bill to rip $22.8 billion from the VA's Toxic Exposures Fund. So if you're sick from burn pits or Agent Orange, oh well, die quickly. Right? And then the so-called Default on America Act, this is something that claws back $2 billion from veterans' claims processing, healthcare, research, and education. So they're taking all that back. Money, default on America? And Republicans block protections for veterans' fundings. Hold on, we'll be right back. This is Tara Devlin, Unapologetic Liberal Talk. Am I wrong here? No. Where's my people? Let me see. I'm not wrong. Am I wrong? Thank you, Ed, for your super chat and your cover charge right on the table. Oh, I see JD in the chat, JD from England. Unfortunately, we have MAGA equivalents here. Oh, shit. In England. They're all over the place. See, we don't have a corner market on morons. Morons is a burden the whole human race must endure. But you don't give them power, That's why we were actually talking about this on the Tara show the other day, how the reason Trump's approval rating will never go lower than 31% is because that's the amount of people in the population that are known, or however the studies go, are shown to be authoritarian followers. It's a personality trait. They like authoritarian. They want daddy. That's why, when they go daddy's home and things like that. I mean, that's a very fascist thing. But that's why I thank you for watching the show and the Tara show on Tuesdays and Thursdays on the Political Voices, because, we got to reclaim these. What I want to get to the point where when they're saying daddy's home, we see them for what they are. We don't need a daddy. Fascists, right? We're free. We're Americans. We're adults. We grew up. Who needs a daddy? I mean, of course, we all need our daddies, even when we're grown up, but to love and cherish. But we don't need them to tell us what to do anymore, do we? No, because you're an adult. You're making your own decisions and choices. You're running your own life. You're living your own truth. And daddy, he took care of you when you were a child. A little person that did not have the understanding about the world. It was too scary and big and complex. And that's why daddy was there to help you and guide you and get you to a point where you can live on your own and be an autonomous being, a fully functioning adult. So, daddy's home. We don't need a fucking daddy. We govern ourselves. We're adults. Right? You might need a daddy. Well, then fuck off. Take him and go to a desert island. Go to the woods. Fuck off to the woods. Right? Shit. Oh, yes, it's mommy or nanny state, they say. Right? You want a nanny state. Like Peter fucking Thiel, that disgusting fascist that owns J.D. Vance. Yeah, we don't want a nanny state that has Medicare and things like that. That's what he actually said. You know, a Medicare, Social Security, a nanny state. That's a rich piece of dirt who never had to work a day in his life. You know, was handed everything, and then he fell into some, I don't know, a Q hole before it was even a Q hole. He believed all the fascist bullshit he was taught. Sick, a very sick person, in other words. A fascist who hates democracy. Because exactly what I'm saying. He doesn't want to have to bother with, other people. He just wants it all. He doesn't want to have to worry about regulations or making sure he doesn't poison you or he just wants to use people as nothing but hosts from which to suck profit and discard. That's what they think we are. That's why billionaires are anathema to freedom and democracy. And they have to be stopped. They have to be taxed down to size for the sake of humanity. There comes a point where, how much longer are we going to take it? I always ask that question. How much longer? Because one piece of dirt, certainly, like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel, they don't supersede the millions of us, do they? They're like a cancer cell in the body politic, eating up all of the nutrients, all the resources, everything. That's cancer. They need to be stopped. They need to be isolated, nullified, legally and peacefully. Right? Yes, right. All right, so let's see. Let's go through this quickly. Senate Republicans block the Protect the Veterans Jobs Act. That's another thing. When they were cutting jobs, this all happened in the last 100 days. When that dirtbag, that unelected South African sociopath parasite, was cutting people's lifelines and still is, and firing our fellow Americans, dancing around with a chainsaw, the Democrats tried to pass something called the Protect Veterans Jobs Act, so they wouldn't be fired. Veterans wouldn't be fired. And, the Republicans said, fuck that. So how do you vote for Republicans? Any veterans? Besides myself? And listening to, how much do you have to hate yourself to vote for these fuckers? Let's see. Trump and Musk fire over 6,000 veterans from federal jobs, including from the VA, and plan to fire 80,000 more from agencies that are already understaffed. So, let's see. Republican funding bill slashes housing vouchers and SNAP benefits. They're always going after that. For millions of veterans who rely on both to keep a roof over their heads and food on their tables. Because, personal responsibility means letting veterans starve in the streets, while the country they served shrugs and looks the other way. Suckers and losers. Okay, and then in March, Republicans moved to kill the VASP program, which helped thousands of veterans avoid foreclosure, which is what I started the article with. So that program, if you're a veteran and then you're underwater, you're getting in trouble with your mortgage, you go to this VA. I guess you go to the VA. I don't know how you apply, but you go to, a veterans program that will help you. They won't let you off the hook with your payments. It's like a refinancing. So the government will help you refinance your mortgage, and you get to pay a lower rate, 2.5% or something like that. But you still got to pay it off. It just helps you so you're not homeless. Fuck it. Right, Republicans? Let's see. Then here's the other thing they did. I should have put this in a bullet point. I'm looking at sometimes the typos there. House Republicans have moved, this will happen if they get their way, to repeal rules that protect veterans from scam colleges like Trump University. That was something that Biden did, with that woke shit about protecting veterans. Because they see veterans, as they see all of us, like losers and suckers to exploit. We're all losers and suckers to them. And this is even on top of all the other cuts to SNAP and other benefits that veterans and others and everyone else can partake in if they hit hard times. But millions of veterans are using right now. Republicans are now gearing up to this is coming in May. And it's something that they plan on introducing May 8th, apparently. They are going to slash, or at least try to slash food assistance even more. Yeah, May 8th, the Agricultural Committee to advance, the House Republicans are eyeing May 8th for the Agricultural Committee to advance its portion of the mega bill to enact Trader Trump's vast domestic agenda. And the target date still weeks away. Blah, 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 blah. The House's instruction for the committee is to slash $230 billion in spending cuts, with the $1 billion minimum goal to, make America starve, so a billionaire can get more money. Fucking Christ. All right, be right back. I'm a little stuffy. So, yeah. Read it on the Political Voices Substack. Read it and weep, I should say. And let's get to the other one. Where is it? Here we go. Now, the other day, Senator Chris Murphy, as I was saying, on the Trader's 100th day in office, took to the floor of the Senate to go through, I think on the floor he did around 20 of the crimes, but I listed out all the 40 that we know so far. It took me all fucking day to do, so, okay? I'm just saying. Please become a patron, support the Political Voices Network. It took me all goddamn day. Because, it's a lot. It's a lot of research. I'm just saying. But it's here, right here at your fingertips now. All you gotta do, if somebody asks you, well, what did Trump do? He's so corrupt. What did he do? All you gotta do is pull up this article. Okay? It's right there. And I got the links, too. The receipts. Not just me saying it. It's linking to, to verify it as well. And then it's not just linking to Chris Murphy's speeches. It's linking to, journalism, newspapers, things like that. Validating exactly what I'm saying. So, but here, it's an incredible amount of corruption. Like, like Trump likes to say, like nobody's ever seen. Incredible. Okay, let's start here, actually, because this is funny. The first thing. Okay, this makes me sick. Melania, yeah, I'm sure you heard about this, right? You heard about this. Melania is getting, okay, how do I even put this? I'll just read it. The ink on Trump's tacky inauguration program hadn't dried before Amazon cut a $40 million check to license a Melania documentary. Who cares? Who cares about Melania? $40 million for a Melania documentary. Is anybody going to watch that shit? Now, okay, to put this in perspective, guys, no other feature-length documentary ever created in the history of cinema has even come close to costing $40 million. Usually, documentaries cost a few $100,000 to $5,000, and that is actually $5,000 is rare. The most expensive documentary so far. Well, no. Excuse me. The most expensive documentary is the Melania documentary now, which is it's a scam. You know, this is how they do it. It's like the Saudis. When the Saudis came to town, they would rent out 2-3 floors of Trump's tacky roach motel, and, there'd be nobody staying in there. But it would look like it on paper, but it's a bribe. Just like this is. And shame on Jeff Bezos and Amazon. I'm so sick of these billionaires. They should all fuck off legally and peacefully to Mars or wherever, or the desert island. Go away. I hate these people. They are parasites. They are. They're the world's biggest parasites. They don't pay their fair share. Amazon paid 0 taxes, and it's only going to get worse. They get free rides, offer up. Oh, well, they're job creators, right? That's the fucking bullshit. So a guy who made a bookstore online, he gets to rule the world? I don't think so. And he didn't get rich by himself, by the way. We created the internet. Government research and development, taxpayer money, made the internet. So he wouldn't, without that. And this is how the Republicans don't seem to understand. We are all connected. It matters. We're all in this together. So tell me, did Jeff Bezos with his bookstore online, did he package all those books himself? Did he drive all those books when somebody ordered them? Did he take them to each person's house by themselves on his own roads that he built for himself? How? He rode in a vehicle somebody created, right? And on a road somebody created with signs telling him where to fucking go. On a highway that was created by taxpayer money. And people could read those signs thanks to the education system. It's like, fuck off with this bullshit. Rugged individual? Well, that's why. In other countries, they understand this. Exactly. Using our postal system. Ed on the chat. So, did he do it all himself? No. So he whoopee-doopie. He made a bookstore online. Fuck off. And pay your employees. Pay people. Living wages. You don't need $1 billion. You'll be fine with $1 billion, for fuck's sake. If that's it. If that's the cap, you'll get by. You'll scrape by on $1 billion. If there were actual, fair share of the profits that labor makes possible in the first place, everybody could have a decent life here, wouldn't you want that? If you're so enlightened when you went out to the space, into the perimeter of space in your dick-shaped rocket. And you came back down to Earth and you were like, oh, I saw the big blue marble. And we're all connected. I see it now. Wouldn't you want to be a better person? Nah. No, he'd rather send, a bunch of, Katy Perry and his girlfriend that he cheated on his wife with, and who else? Who's that other one? Oprah's friend, to space. Who fucking cares? Well, we're down here, stocking up on toilet paper again because this piece of shit is back in office? Because these fucking billionaires? I'm sorry, I'm cursing a lot. Again. So, okay, well, let's get back to the Melania, the most expensive documentary ever created. No, because I was looking it up. The most expensive documentary ever created by far, or the second most, I should say, is OJ, the OJ documentary that's on Netflix now, and it was done for like $4 million, maybe less. It's off the top of my head. And if Oscar-winning documentaries have not even come close. Like the Earth series is like $1 million. The Ken Burns documentary of the Civil War, which is a great documentary, by the way. I've watched it all. I watched it when it was on originally, and it's amazing. But it was great. But that was, if I'm remembering correctly, if that were created today in today's dollars, it would be like $4 million. All right, hold on. So, for this fucking Melania documentary to be 40 million. I mean, it's clear it's a bribe. It's money laundering or God knows what else. It's a bribe. It's something disgusting that shouldn't be happening. But ever the hungry parasite, Trump will receive 70% of the deal's proceeds. So, there you go. And yet another perfect opportunity for the world's oligarchs to launder their bribes. Trump is reportedly shopping around, quote unquote, for sponsorship deals for this future cinematic masterpiece. And I talk about it in the article. What do you want to bet? It never gets made. What do you want to bet? Because who's going to watch it? We will get the, I guess the stats on it. It's not like when one of these maggots writes a book and then the Heritage Foundation comes in and buys thousands of copies to give away at CPAC. And then they could say, I'm a New York Times bestseller. Meanwhile, nobody reads that shit. Nobody. Who fucking buys that? Who buys Donald Trump Jr.'s book? Who cares? But, we'll see. We'll be able to see how many people watch Melania, the great Melania, $40 million documentary. Well, I don't really care. Do you? Is that what they're going to call it? I don't really care. Do you? Or who gives a shit about Christmas? These are all quotes from her. Or it was, no, I think it was give a fuck. Who gives a fuck about Christmas? Okay, and then of course the meme coin, this piece of dirt. This is a whole other goddamn bottomless pit of corruption where Trump, he's opened the door of fraud, money laundering, and untraceable foreign influence. Because that's the nature of crypto. You'll never be able to trace it to who? the oligarchy knows no borders here. That's why the Republicans are so evil. They pull on those patriotic strings. They tickle those patriotic funny bones. They could give a shit about America. Like I said, they're putting up a 100-foot flagpole. Go fuck off on the flagpole, please. The only thing good about that is that Trump can't sexually assault the flag at the top. It's well out of his reach. But other than that, it's nothing but performance art. They couldn't give a shit about the flag. I mean, they like the flag, they just don't like what it stands for. They hate what it's supposed to stand for. Freedom, no one is above the law, everyone should have a fair shake, e pluribus unum, the general welfare. They hate that. The nation of immigrants, they don't like that. Prove me wrong. Like I said, the first time when the scumbag squatted in the White House despite receiving fewer votes, one of the first things they did in the the agency, Immigration and Naturalization, they took out at the top in the mission statement of that agency, they took out the United States is a nation of immigrants. It said it right now in the first sentence, and they took it out. So, they don't like that. They want white people. Just white men, and their bitches to, fuck when they want to procreate. Like Handmaid's Tale, put them at Jezebel's, whatever. Yeah, okay. And as Trader Trump has his stupid meme coin, he has also weakened oversight from by the Justice Department and their teams supposedly investigating crypto fraud. That's a thing of the past. So, okay, let's see here. January 20th, just days before his New York felony trial, Trump summoned 24 oil executives to Mar-a-Lago. We remember this. To explain that he would axe every environmental regulation standing between them and even more profit for the low, low price of $1 billion. Right out in the open. And people voted for him anyway. Shame on them. I'm sorry, I'm all stuffed up. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but... Okay, since he's returned to the Oval Office, the con man has done all he can to undo everything that Joe Biden did, all the progress on climate change, to let the oil barons loose again to murder Mother Earth. It's so disgusting. And the whole world is evolving without us. We're just left in the dust. Sort of like we'll be like when you look at the world, you have the modern nations, and you can look at a place like Pakistan, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia. You look at these backward ass places and you're like, shit, that sucks. I'm glad I live here. That's what they're doing to us here. Turning us into a shithole nation, backwards ass nation, just like Saudi Arabia. They will be the sheiks. And we'll be out here, in our Burker Handmaid Tale costumes. Except a little bit, it's not like, it won't be Islam. It'll be more Jesus-y, of course. We'll be out here fighting over the scraps. The laws will be for us, not for them. They'll be, and they'll be fine. In their gated communities, there won't be the same laws or same rules or regulations. They get to do whatever they want. Like Trump. You know what really pissed me off too? They want the dirtbag con man. He wants federal workers to say every day to report in where they are physically located. Fuck you. You know? While this piece of shit's out golfing. Because we're children. You see, they need daddy. Daddy's home. People, a nice work-life balance. That's for Democrats. That's woke. They just hate you. You know what I mean? They hate the American worker. They have no trust. Doesn't matter how productive. Worker productivity is constantly going up, up, up. It's not like the American worker's like, gee, fuck this. I wish they were. I wish the American worker were more. But they have divided us so effectively. So we're at each other's throats. So you have these maggots, these moron maggots who vote against their own better interests and everyone else's better interests all the time, looking at the ruling class and they're saying, oh, I want to be like that. I'm going to be a good boy and maybe I'll get trickled on. They'll trickle in my mouth a little, hopefully. But the fact is, you have more in common with another worker than you have with these pricks. They could give a shit about you. And that's why they keep people divided. Divide them along every fissure of disunity, every line of that is a difference, a difference without a distinction. Or wait, a distinction without a difference? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you know what I mean. That's how you put it. I'm a little bit, my head is cloudy because I have a cold. A difference, a distinction without a difference. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like, pigment, white pigment, black pigment, whatever, darker pigment. It's a distinction without a difference. We're all humans. But that's what, they think, oh, I want to hang out with Trump? Trump hates your guts. Why do you want to hang out with that moron? You must be a very boring person. Could you imagine hanging out with him? How mind-numbingly boring that is? Oh, I guess we can ask Bill Maher, right? That fucking... Ugh, I hate them all. Bill Maher. He was good. Oh, he was a good dinner companion. He didn't drool on the plate. He didn't go zig Hal. Who cares? He's a fucking fascist destroying America. God. That's why the rich come on here. They need to be taxed. God, everybody. If they would only listen to me, the world would be a better place. Right? Am I wrong here? No, I'm not. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Then we had, let's see. The midnight purge of watchdogs. So if they want to drain the swamp, you would not purge the people that are there to stand as the watchdogs against the swamp. He didn't just drain the swamp. Trump didn't drain the swamp. He flooded it into every nook and cranny of our government. That's what he did. He turned on the spigot. And he was like, have at it, swamp. And then on January 25th, he killed the ethics office. Trump didn't just remove the Office of Government Ethics Director. He torched the entire institution. David Hutima, the OGE director, was replaced by Trump's personal attorney, and just weeks after the IG purge. And the OG files and investigations, including those into Trump's own properties and possible emoluments clause violations, vanished without a trace. No one's pursuing it. Isn't that weird? Then came the NLRB shutdown to protect Musk and Bezos. Gwen Wilcox, the NLRB member, probing Tesla's union busting and Amazon's wage theft. They were fired right in the middle of their investigation. And both companies, just a coincidence, I'm sure, had just funneled millions into Trump's so-called inauguration fund. Just coincidences. Well, you'll see a lot of coincidences like that. Then you have Representative Andy Ogle. The Department of Justice, or whatever it is now, paused its probe into Ogle's illegal campaign loans the moment he introduced a bill to let Trump run for a third term. That's all it takes. You work to destroy America, and they got your back. You could be as corrupt as any Republican, It's smash and grab time. That's why they hate America. I mean, it's right there in front of our eyes. And Ogle said, I did what I had to do for the movement, he said. What movement? Your bowel movement? He smirked as he said it. Corruption is the key to the kingdom of Maggotville. And then, let's see, the IRS, Trump's pick for IRS Commissioner, Billy Long, all of a sudden wiped out $130,000 in campaign debt thanks to a sudden flood of donations from tax consultancy insiders right after Trump announced his nomination. It's like, what's his name? Justice I Like Beer. How he, all of a sudden, he owed a lot of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars. He was in the hole. And all of a sudden, it was gone. It was paid for. And we never found out who paid off that fucking debt. It's probably Harlan Crow. Who knows, right? The same one who bought Uncle Clarence that RV where he likes to hang out in the Walmart parking lot. Because he's of regular stock. He's of regular stock. That's what he tells them at the Bilderberg group when he's smoking those cigars. He goes, he's of regular stock. I don't know how many people of regular stock go on a $500,000 vacation paid for by a billionaire who also owns the house your mother lives in rent-free and sends your so-called son to school, and buys you an RV. I can't take it. It's just such an insult to everyone who ever believed in America. Everyone who ever died for this country. They really do think that they are losers and suckers. It's in every action they take. Okay, let's see. And then we come to February. Attorney General... Oh, wait, let's go up one. February 4th, Trump brokered a PGA LIV golf merger in the Oval Office with the fucking Saudis. Okay? What a fucking debasement of America. So he opened the door for the Saudis to pour money into American golf and conveniently into Trump's own golf courses, a.k.a. his pockets. I mean, remember when Jimmy Carter had to divest his peanut farm? Unreal. So quaint. Then they gutted the Foreign Registration Act. This is another thing. Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's a dumb bitch, announced that the Department of Justice would deprioritize the Foreign Agent Registration Act, leaving the door wide open for foreign oligarchs and shady shell companies to funnel cash into U.S. politics. Drain the swamp, right? It's incredible. Any one of these in another time would have been the end of this administration. But this is only in the last 100 days.
So, okay, then they went after the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Trump slashed the CFPB by nearly 90%, axing 1,500 employees, and gutted its enforcement powers, which I don't understand how he could do that, but it's because the Republicans have given him the power. The Congress holds the purse strings. You can't dismantle a government agency by executive order, but the Republicans are allowing him to do it. They said this is an emergency. Yeah, we had the economy that was the envy of the Western world. It's such a fucking emergency that he needs emergency powers to destroy it. I guess that's the excuse. So that's why we gotta get rid of these motherfuckers legally and peacefully. 2 years to the midterms, and with what? I mean, Chuck Schumer? Go away, Chuck Schumer. You disgust me. I wonder if his strongly worded letter has made a difference. I doubt it. Oh, shit. We're going to lose the Progressive Voices audience in a few minutes. But let me go down to the bottom. We'll go back to the top. But because I saved the best for last, kind of. On April 26th, Trump Jr. created the Executive Branch Club, which is a private exclusive club in Washington, D.C., with a $500,000 membership fee that promises access to high-profile political and business figures. And I'm sure it'll be a magnet for foreign spies, as Mara Moron is, and anyone else with an America-hating agenda. And, it really is like a Bond villain casting call, but for real. And I'm sure they'll be talking about the forgotten men and women all over that place, right? How are they going to not forget about the forgotten men and women? The forgotten men and women will be forgotten no more. But I guess maybe not. We'll have to be we'll be outside the velvet ropes. The forgotten men and women will be, we won't be able to look in, or they'll just be trickling down contempt to the suckers outside. We the suckers outside the velvet ropes of the Executive Branch Club, which. And stop me if I'm wrong, and I'm not. Isn't this exactly what the Republicans were going after Hunter Biden for? Saying he was wheeling and dealing on his father's office, right? He was trying to make deals on the strength of the executive office. They made a whole fucking club. These monsters. For real. God damn it. I'm pissed. Guys, this is Tara Devlin. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. We will win. Thank you, Charlie, APS Radio News. Check out the Tara Show on Tuesdays and Thursdays with myself and Tara Dublin on the Political Voices Network. Become a patron. Become a subscriber at Substack. We stick together, we win. My name is Tara Devlin. We're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy. I'll see you soon. All right, that's a little loud. I gotta do something about that. My God, I'm all stuffed up. But isn't that disgusting? Isn't that disgusting? Talking about the Executive Branch Club. This, and the fucking, what do you call it? The corruption, the hypocrisy is astonishing. That I have to tell you, I don't know, maybe you've heard this on corporate media. I haven't heard this on corporate media at all. I know there's a lot of shit going on all the time. That's why what we're doing here is so important. They're too busy. I don't know what they're talking about on corporate media right now. But it's the same story. I think today the story, it was about how he's going after Harvard. I mean, all those are important, but there are so many other things going on too. You'll never hear it on Fox News, of course. And, but I have yet to hear this on corporate media about this executive branch club. Yeah, you're not going to hear it on Fox News, of course. And I've yet to hear, I mean, of course, because I haven't heard it on corporate media, but this is exactly what they inundated us with. What we had to endure for however long, for years. Hunter Biden was selling access to the presidency. He was demeaning the president. Who did he think he was? Making deals on the president's back. I mean, put in the big guy. I'll put the big guy on the phone. Who's the big guy? We had to hear this shit. And they had nothing, of course, even though we kept hearing James Comer, right? He kept saying, "Oh, I got the goods. I got the receipts. It's a coming. It's a coming." All we saw, the only thing that was coming was Hunter Biden's dick pic. For fuck's sake. Right? It's coming. These scumbags. If it wasn't for hypocrisy, I don't know. What would they have? What would keep them afloat? Certainly not their spines. Shit. Incredible. A private club in D.C., a $500,000 club fee to get access to who? Who are you getting access to? You're Donald Trump Jr.? The fucking president? Yeah. And where are the maggots? Where's the outrage? This is what I hate about maggots, besides everything else. They have their selective outrage. Now, we know that if this were the Democrats, we would not be approving of this. The Democrats don't have a problem calling out their own, putting their own, jettisoning their own. Look what they did. I mean, we could talk about many examples. John Edwards. Who's that other one? The one who was married to, and now his name escapes me. I used to like him. Anthony Weiner. Right? And others. If this were something that Hunter Biden was doing, no one would defend it. I know I wouldn't. Wouldn't be like, wow, this I feel like this is fucked up. They shouldn't do that. He shouldn't do that. He should be held to account for this. He shouldn't be allowed to do this. And then if we found out that Biden was part of it, fuck that. We would not think it's okay. But these scumbags, they have no shame. Don't they have any dignity? Is that all that matters? I mean, maybe, I guess, to them. Money, is that all that matters to these people? They don't have enough money? You don't have enough from your fucking crypto and your other scams. You got to take our Social Security, Medicare. You got to cut our lifelines. You got to send people to unemployment. Well, before you get a chance to cut that too, right? By the time, if they have their way, think about all of the things, everything that the Republicans attack every time they get power are the things that actually make America great, that make America function, that make America great. That make America function. That make America great. That make America function. 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 That make America function that make us, that a country that is modern and that people want to come to. You know what they're doing? And I wrote another article about it. The fascist brain drain that's going on right now. You have young people that they don't want to come here. Young scientists from other countries. They don't want to come here. Because who wants to fucking come here? They're chasing everyone away. The cutting of science research, medical research. The whole world, you think the whole world is joining us in that goddamn fool's errand? That fool's endeavor? No, fuck no. They're just licking their lips. They can't be happier. The enemies of America can't be happier. And that's what I hate about maggots. Besides everything else, you say you love this country? Then why is it that all of America's enemies are pleased and our allies can't believe what the hell they're fucking seeing? Our allies are appalled. And Jesus Christ, they're looking at us as, don't let this happen to you. It's really a master class in how to destroy a country. That's it. Exactly. Twisted Nerves Painting says, I'm not sure we even have allies anymore. You're right. We have Putin. He's not an ally. We have all the world's evil. We are now part of the axis of evil. That's another article I wrote. I gotta tell you, please subscribe to the Substack, guys. I'm writing a lot of fucking articles on there. See? We have Trump's second term has already turned America into a global pariah. Who could have imagined that the con man who promised to make America great again would instead turn the United States into a laughingstock of the world? Well, we here at the Political Voices Network could have, but the serial bankrupt, tax-cheating, draft-dodging wannabe dictator has transformed a once-free, democracy-loving nation of promise into a reckless, unstable pariah that allies distrust and enemies exploit. Hey, am I wrong? Can anybody prove me wrong? Thank you for subscribing there, Kathy. Thank you. From humiliating diplomatic blunders to disjointed and absurd policy reversals, Trump's actions serve as a textbook example of how to alienate the world and lead America down a path towards catastrophic failure. One that stands as a stark warning to freedom-loving nations that were once our staunchest allies. Yeah, America first means America alone. Right? Publicly undermine NATO, insult our allies, while heaping effusive praise on authoritarian strongmen who are the weakest bitches on earth. Fuck that. Trump describes Xi as a brilliant guy who governs 1.4 billion people with an iron grip. He's envious. Oh yeah, you think those 1.4 billion are going to be, oh please Donald, please. They don't give a shit. They'll adjust. They want us on our knees. Donald, you dumb bastard. You fucking disgusting con man who bankrupted 4 casinos. Is it 4 or 6? I can't remember. Yeah. He praised his pen pal Kim Jong-un as very honorable. The same time, basically, right after They sent an American citizen home in a vegetative state. That dirtbag praised Kim Jong-un as honorable. He called Hungary's Viktor Orban, this is who they're following. That's their playbook. He called him fantastic and at the top of his game, while insulting, of course, Democratic allies, Governor Trudeau, mocking other democracies as weak. He's a fucking worst parasite to ever stain us. I'm sure you saw that lesson he gave about the Declaration of Independence. What a disgrace. Oh, what is it? What does it mean to you, the Declaration of Independence? It's a declaration. It's a declaration of independence. It's a declaration of love. It's about, it's a great thing that nobody's ever seen. Here we go. I have
Do you
it.
have the Declaration of Independence?
What does it mean to you?
Well, it means exactly what it says. It's a declaration. It's a declaration of unity and
Oh
love,
my God.
respect, and it means
Where's
a
my
lot,
hammer
and
so I can
it's,
bang myself in the
something
head
very
with it?
special to our country.
It's
Lincoln's
something
portrait
very
up there.
special. Yeah, well, it's a declaration. You see it right there. It's a declaration. It's like, it's a declaration of love. You fucking dulltard. It's all about love. What a day of love, right? Everything's he's so fucking boring. He's such a dumbass. It's a declaration of love. It's a day of love and a declaration of love. Yeah. He's removed us from the Paris Agreement for the second time, of course. And fast-track oil drilling in protected lands. He revoked standards that protect community health. What does he give a shit? It's not his health. I mean, he's an old man, guys. That's why I keep thinking, like, how much more fucking money do you need, old man? You're gonna die. And it's gonna be a great getting up morning when that day that you are, I guess, put in the world's largest outdoor gender-neutral bathroom. But come on here. How much do you need? He dismantled environmental regulations at a breakneck pace. And he is the worst president ever. This is another thing that just gets me crazy. He is, according to over 100 historians, he's the worst fucking president ever. Of course he is. He left office with, a death toll like nobody's ever seen, and divided the country at every turn. And the worst jobs record since Herbert Hoover. Jesus Christ. On a bike. All right, let's just go into some more of the corruptions. I'm just trying to look at the time here. Let me see here, and I want you to see the pattern, I suppose. Of course, okay, where are we? I'm just going, not in order of the corruptions, but he, just picking some of them out. There were 40 of them. Check it out on the Political Voices Substack. Yeah, gutting. I mean, why would you gut the Foreign Agent Registration Act unless you're a fucking Russian asset? Right? Which he is. He is really he is a Russian asset. If you look at him through that lens, everything makes sense. He's never done anything but fulfill Putin's wish list. So, yeah. Pam Bondi, the dumb bitch, said she would deprioritize enforcement of the Foreign Agent Registration Act. Yeah. So, opening the door for foreign people, foreigners to corrupt politicians and not Democrat. They're fucking right into the Republican Party. All we gotta do is Google. I mean, first of all, they are such dupes. Let's see, Maria Butina and Republicans. This is a spy. She's a spy. Maria Butina, when she went back to Russia, she was greeted as a hero. They met her at the airport. She got a hero's welcome because she's a spy. She's a fucking spy. And she got right into the Republican Party. Here she goes. Oh, she loves guns. There she is with all the Republicans. Who's that? What's his face? God, I wish I had never seen those faces. Right? Ugh. There she is with Donald Trump Jr. There she goes. They're so easily played, these people. There she is with Bobby Jindal. Wow. No wonder. She's a hero to Russia. Of course she is. Look how close she got to all of these fuckers. She had she was a honeypot. She had one of these fuckers falling in love with her. Who was it? One of these guys. And then he introduced her to all of these Republican insiders. And she just fucked off and went back to Russia. I guess she broke his heart. Who was the guy, though? I don't remember. I don't remembers. Their faces. Ugh. Scott Walker. Who's that guy right there? I can't remember his name. He's like a holy roller. God, they all suck. So bad. They suck it, really. They really suck it bad. Right? Stop me when I'm wrong, but they suck it. So, where was I? Yes, okay. Oh, Eric Adams. Remember that? Eric Adams, the DOJ dropped a bribery, and that's another case in point. He's just supposedly a Democrat. No Democrat's like, free Eric Adams. We're like, get the fuck out. Resign. Have some dignity. But he's a horror. I live in New York. And he's a piece of work. He always has been. We could have had Maya Wiley. This is what makes me so mad. Because of the power of propaganda. And, of course, I'm sure misogyny, too. We could have had a decent governor, a real public servant. But can't have that. You got to have Eric Adams, who is nothing but, he's like Trump. He's a grifter, gets his friends positions of power in the government, his friends, his brother. He's out all night.
My colleagues here.
Right? That's what part of what his charm, I suppose. Not charm. He's a dirtbag. He goes out in clubs, exclusive clubs that have it's sort of like the executive branch club that have fees and people are like the reporters are like, who's paying your fees to get into this club? Oh yeah, you just want to take me down. He goes right into, instead of answering the question, you attack the questioner. You're fake news. He goes right into the Trump playbook, which I'm so sick of, so sick of it. And of course, Trump signed an executive order pausing the enforcement of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, which basically means that you foreigners can bribe, corporations. It's like a circle jerk of corruption. You can bribe the foreigners for cushy deals and shit, and vice versa. They can bribe you. And Trump said, "Oh, we're just restoring American competitiveness because we weren't competitive enough." Joe Biden created the greatest economy in the Western democratic world post-pandemic, and we just weren't competitive enough. Corporations are making record profits. Of course, they're not sharing thanks to our rigged tax code, but we just weren't competitive enough. We need that corruption. What the fuck is it about just doing it correctly that they can't handle? You know what it is? They're lazy. They're not that smart. Trump is a dullard, as we know. Oh, the Declaration of Independence. It's a declaration. It's a declaration of love. It's a declaration of unity. No, not exactly. It's a declaration of we're the fuck out of here. It's a declaration of love? You stupid, boring 12-year-old. If that were a 12-year-old, you'd get an F on the report. He is so dumb. He's so malinformed. Oh, I like the Declaration of Independence. Did he have that moved there? I guess he did, right? Did I miss that? In the rest of the fire hose of news, of fascism, he had that Declaration of Independence moved from where? The Smithsonian to his office? I know there's a few copies of it. He wants to look at the Declaration of Independence. He doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand the flag. He doesn't understand. Tell him to explain the flag. That's a pretty simple one, right? It's one of the many copies. How many copies are there, Kathy? How many? I've seen it. I've seen it with my own beautiful eyes myself. And thank you, Ed, for your super chat, the cover charge. And Elise, thank you for your super chat. Keep up the good work. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I said that already. Foreign bribes. The $400 million Tesla contract. Tesla, I should say, as the sociopath parasite says. $400 million Tesla contract. So the State Department announced a $400 million contract for armored Teslas. Ugh. Of course, thankfully, it's canceled. Thanks to outrage. That's what happens. That's what happens. This is why we got to get the word out. That's why what we're doing is so important. Musk's company, already fattened by government contracts, got another taxpayer-funded windfall when his lawyers quietly erased OSHA violations from federal records, which is a bar for a federal contract, of course. But, yeah, blah, blah. He wanted the original, but it was a big... What? I can't see that. The rest of it. Not sure how many, but the original is in the Smithsonian. Yes. That's the one I saw. We got the Declaration of Love right here. Oh, God. What does the fucking con man know about love? Huh? What does a sociopath know about love? It's a declaration of love. You dumb bastard. Make it stop. Go away. And then, of course, federal regulations cited Tesla for workplace violations, safety violations after a worker's death, But under Trump's fake Department of Gazillionaire Extortion, run by the parasite Musk himself, OSHA's teeth were pulled. And that's the end of that. And Trump's mass firing of FDA staffers included those reviewing Musk's Neuralink brain chip, which had already seen 2 patient deaths in trials. Yeah, message innovation means never having to say you're sorry or following the law. And who cares if you kill somebody? You're not. It's not you. You're not the one being killed. You're not the one being hurt, or it's not your family grieving the loss of a loved one. Who cares? There's many of you unwashed masses, the plebeians. Who cares? And then you had Operation Whirlwind. The Trump maladministration launched Operation Whirlwind, a federal initiative led by interim U.S. Attorney Ed Martin, purportedly to protect federal workers, but rapidly expanding to target political dissent and protest activity, all in the guise of, we're just protecting people. Oh, it's coming. Wait. Just wait. It's going to be an interesting summer. They will attack protesters. He's going to unleash, or at least he's going to try to unleash the military on protesters. There will be January 6 traitors, the Proud Pricks, people like that. They will infiltrate the peaceful protests and attempt to get people to believe they're violent, like they did in Black Lives Matter. And then there will be some, military sicked on peaceful protesters. It's a coming. He's a traitor. He's a goddamn authoritarian. He wants to be a dictator. He hates America. Okay, so here's a couple of, coincidences again. After a $2 million donation to Trump's inauguration, the SEC dropped its GameStop market manipulation case against Robinhood. So this is the pattern here. I'm sorry, I can't talk. I'm all stuffed up. And it continues. So you give the con man a donation, all of a sudden, whatever probe, whatever you're getting looked into for whatever corruption, it stops. So, Starlink's $20 billion rural broadband grab, Trump's corrupt Commerce Department rewrote FCC rules to let the unelected South African sociopath, Elon Musk, parasite, let Starlink tap into $42 billion federal broadband program. So, because that's what Biden did. That's that woke shit Biden did. He wanted, just like, the Tennessee Valley Authority that brought electricity to rural communities that would literally be sitting in the dark without it, right? Joe Biden thought everyone should be connected to broadband. As a modern society, you gotta connect everybody, and they have to be able to access the internet. Not like a dial-up speed, actual internet. But that's too woke. These fucking Republicans. Rural families were supposed to get high-speed broadband, but they can rest easier knowing that the unelected South African parasite got more of our taxpayer money going to Starlink. Yeah, FCC rules to let Musk's Starlink tap into the $42 billion federal broadband program, with a $20 billion going to Starlink, 4 times the original cap of the program. Because everything they touch, it's nothing but a boondoggle of grift and graft and greed. Like the Department of Gazillionaire Extortion, he didn't save a dime. He cost the country money. It costs more. Lo and behold, to fire people, to fuck shit up. And it's going to cost more to rebuild. And think about all of the cost of the stress, the despair, the deaths by despair that are going to go up thanks to Republicans. That always happens whenever a conservative is in power. Death by despair go up. Okay, and then Capital One gave the con man $1 million to their... They donated $1 million to Trump's PAC, and all of a sudden this predatory lending lawsuit disappeared. The DOJ dropped it. This is the pattern. Coinbase gave $1 million donation to Trump's PAC, and there was an SEC probe into their unregulated securities. That was dropped. SpaceX, the DOJ abandoned its discrimination case against SpaceX because right after, just a coincidence, a $5 million donation to Trump's legal fund. Nothing to see here. And then, of course, the con man is selling access to the Oval Office. Mar-a-Lago dinners went for $1 million. Oval Office meetings went for $5 million. Are you fucking kidding me? No. A Saudi lobbyist bragged that he was buying policy over steak. This is maggot America. Democracy's on sale. And it's going fast. And then you had the taxpayer-funded crypto scam. And then the DOJ with Tina Peters. All of a sudden wants a review of this case. That this bitch, Tina Peters, convicted of tampering with voting machines. This grifter. And the Department of Justice is like, oh, she's being so unfairly targeted. Thank God it's a state case. And then Bored Ape's $200 million fraud case vanished after donating to Trump. Another coincidence. I mean, you see? You see the pattern? Bank of America, a CFPB lawsuit is dropped against Bank of America after a $500,000 donation. Crime is a deductible expense now in maggot America. And then you had the Tesla. I love Tesla. The Tesla. Look at that ugly fucking truck. The Tesla commercial. Isn't that the ugliest piece of shit you've ever seen? And the car is pretty disgusting too. Oh, God. How long until the worst president ever starts selling product placement ads in the Oval Office, right? I drink maggot milk here when I'm sitting with my cabinet. For a low price, get for 2 dozen, only $19.99. You get a whole case of maggot milk. Here, pass it out. It's amongst the cabinet. How do you like maggot milk? I love it, President. It fuels me for the woke mob, to kill the woke mob, or stop the woke. God help us. All right. Become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. This is Unapologetic Liberal Talk. Check out the Political Voices Substack. check out, say hi, Charlie, APS Radio News. Check it out. We will win. Check out the Tara Show on Tuesdays and Thursdays on the Political Voices YouTube channel. I'm going to lower that a little. And remember, we will win. We will win eventually, because we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We stick together, we win. My name is Tara Devlin. I'll see you soon. Okay. Yeah, there's more. You should read it. We're gonna hang up the show tonight, because as you can hear, I have a cold. I'm tired. I'm stuffed. My feet hurt. My corns hurt. My feet stink. I got rheumatoid. I got blisters. I got dry eye. I got a lot of things. I go into bed. I need to go. I put the cats in the bedroom. I put Tara Jr. in the bedroom with Boudica, because they were getting on my nerves, guys. Drink more water. I do. I need to drink more water. I will. And take zinc. Yes. Take some vitamins. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some vitamins, take some aspirin, and go to bed. Yeah, maybe it's allergies. I just feel tired, though. So I feel like I'm fighting something. But it could be allergies. You're right. I'm all stuffed up. I can feel it in my nose and my throat. I'm just tired, and my eyes feel kind of like, maybe it is allergies, because my beautiful eyes feel it. And I'm sure you can hear it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sniffle in your ears. All right, my friends. It's allergies. Yeah, it could be. Tara Jr. has bad allergies. And maybe I's got them too. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Remember, we got the Tara Show on Tuesday. I will talk to Robyn Kincaid, so hopefully we'll figure out the friggin' Wednesday situation. Oh, hi, Trucker John. Nice to see ya. Tesla. Nice to see you, Trucker John there. And, yeah, he just jumped in at the end of the show, but I guess you were listening. That's nice. It's nice to know. Thank you, Jim, for everything you do. For being everything. For being a moderator. For being a moderator here. For being a moderator at the Tara Show. What can I do for you, Jim? Go on the merch page if you want. And I'll get you some merch, man. On the Tarabuster merch, which I have to... Oh, that's another thing I gotta do. I gotta get some more merch up there. Get some fresh merch up. But we got some old merch. You could still get some merch. Or something. To say thank you. Send me an email. What do you like? What do you like, kid? And Mike. Nice to see you, Mike. I will never forget you, Mike. Of course not. And Kathy and Twisted Nerves Painting, who has a channel, too. Like Trucker John has a show, too. And so does Twisted Nerves Painting. So we should all support each other, guys. If you haven't already, subscribe. And do it, because that's how we win. We stick together, we win. And thank you, JD, and thank you, Josie, and Tom. Nice to see you, Tom. Who else is here? Elise, and who else am I missing? Charlie, nice to see you. And anybody else If you want to say a shout out, let me know before I shut the show down. All right, my friends. Listen. I love you. Thank you for hanging out. Oh, I also have my back hurts too. My ass hurts in this fucking chair. Pardon me for cursing. Thank you for hanging out. Hopefully I'll see you on Tuesday. That'll be nice. At the Tara Show. Check out the Substack. I'm writing a lot of articles over there, kid. We will win one little show at a time. You're right, Trucker John. We will never give up. Never give up, my friends. That's the motto. We won't. Alright, guys, I gotta go. I'm tired. Anything good on Netflix that I missed? I need to binge watch something. What am I binge watching? Oh, I want to binge watch The Last of Us. I'm not watching it now because I want to binge watch it when it's all through and through. That's a good one. I'm waiting for that one. And I want to binge watch. Anybody else got any suggestions? What's good binge watching? That's what I want to do on Sunday. I'm just looking forward to Sunday, where I can do nothing, do absolutely nothing, which is my favorite thing to do sometimes. Oh, before we go, let's see. I'm looking at the leopards eating our faces, or my faces page. My faces. And, oh, look at this. Oh, well. She voted for a racist, and now the racist is deporting the father of her child. Should I care? I voted for Trump, and it cost me immensely. 16 years ago, I met a boy. We were in high school. He became my first love, my first boyfriend, and the father of my first child. He was many things, but at the top of the list, he was a superb father. Oh, well, that don't matter. He's illegal. That man would go to the ends of the earth to look for the last pencil. If that's what I told him our daughter needed. He wasn't just the father of my child. He became my best friend. He was my family. His biggest fault? He wasn't legal. Oh, he's a criminal. Despite being here before he could even walk. Despite not having a criminal record. Oh, you dumb. God, I hate these people. You know? Oh, yeah, who would have thunk it? The con man who sold meat through the mail. The con man who sold vitamins, non-FDA approved scam vitamins after you sent him a cup of your pee. Who would have thunk it? The con man with the fake university. Who would have thought that con man would lie and say, oh, we're going after the criminal. No criminals. What criminals? The criminals they're making up out of their fucking fascist asses? Despite not having any criminal record, despite making multiple trips to D.C. as an adult to acquire the paperwork to be here the right way, papers his mother should have taken care of. Oh well. Shit happens, right? That's why we had the Dreamers program, and you could get your day in court, try to get yourself straight. If you have been here your whole life, you didn't have a choice in the matter. When your mom or father were escaping one of the failed states we helped create. Jesus Christ. Despite hiring immigration lawyers, the father of my oldest child is being extradited. My oldest child is losing her father because of Trump's immigration policies. Do I feel like I made a mistake? Okay, wait for it. Possibly. Do I feel like I made a mistake? Possibly. Ask me again when I'm not so emotional. What I do know is it has cost me, well, me, and my oldest daughter greatly. I am in a very dark place right now, reeling from this. I didn't post this for sympathy, but y'all need to know. It's not just bad people with criminal records being deported. You all need to know. You all. We don't need to know. We were telling her. These people are fathers, providers, head of the household. The enemy wins by destroying the family unit with this policy. That's the lingo of a Christian nationalist, by the way. The enemy, they're talking about like the devil. That's the enemy, and if you are a gay or a trans, the enemy is winning. And this is where it's going to get controversial. The past few days, as I've pleaded, begged, absolutely bawled my eyes out to the Lord to reveal to me the benefit in this, he told me one thing. My hand isn't in this, daughter. When the heavenlies are at war, there are going to be casualties. And that's that. And here is where I'ma give y'all something to argue about. I don't believe this immigration policy is in the will of the Lord. You think? I don't believe in my heart that this is something Jesus would celebrate were he here. But he was everything to me and my daughter. And even though him and I, together, have overcome generational and family traumas, so our child didn't have to walk through them, the enemy has still won here. The enemy is Trump. The enemy is the Republican Party. The enemy is fascism. But we tried to tell you, that's not something I'm ever going to celebrate ever. So if you want to come post a comment about how the policies are necessary or biblical, don't do it on my wall. Nuh-uh-uh. Seriously, don't. And if you've made it this far, please pray. Pray for us, because my daughter and I are beside ourselves with grief. And it's hard to go through the days. Oh, well, the enemy is the filthy Republicans, just like Jesus warned you about. He warned you about the hypocrites, right? But you decided to, follow Republican Jesus. That's Republican Jesus. Here, hate the poor. Worship money. Ignore the sick. Enrich the rich. Expel the stranger. Throw lots of stones. And love thyself above all. The last one is mass casualty weapons for all. That's just one. That's Republican Jesus. Then you got, there's more. Another Republican Jesus. When I was thirsty. These are the Beatitudes, the Republican Beatitudes. I was thirsty, so you allowed corporations to pollute my water. I was vulnerable, so you made it legal for banksters to exploit me. I was a prisoner, so you denied me human rights and tortured me, and in this iteration, you denied me due process, and you deported me without due process. I was disabled, so you allowed Wall Street to raid my Social Security. I was hungry, so you reviled me and called me a taker. I was old and tired, so you raised my retirement age. I was sick, so you repealed my health insurance with a concept of a plan. I was a stranger, so you deported me and built a wall. That's Republican Jesus. Stop me if I'm wrong. Guys, stop me if I'm wrong. These fucking people. Yes, exactly. They are useless. And they're selfish. That's it. That's the problem. The search for the superior moral justification for selfishness. We tried to tell you, lady, how much longer, right? Would it take for it to sink in if it didn't step onto your doorstep? It's okay knocking on somebody else's door, though, right? These people can't seem to look past their own eyelashes unless they're looking in a mirror at themselves. Then we're all supposed to care. But we're supposed to care before it gets this far, before it touches everybody. You're supposed to care. That's how we got into this boat. Because you didn't care when the fucker came down an escalator claiming that Mexicans were rapists. That was fine with you. So your dad, your daughter's father, I guess he's from a Latin country, but you didn't think that was fine. That the piece of shit vilified anyone who wasn't white. It didn't matter that you're voting in league with David Duke and the KKK, the American Nazi Party, for Christ's sakes. Oh, that's fine. I'm so sick of these people. But, okay. I hope it doesn't hurt too little. Because that's the only way they learn. Sadly. And now, that is the true end of the show tonight of Tarabuster. Thank you for hanging out. I gotta go. I gotta get to bed. I need to get unconscious. Oh, okay. Terry Charles says, I am watching The Last of Us, and it's so good. I wish I can binge watch it. We need to take time to binge, yes, especially these days. That's what I like to do. That's why I want to binge watch it. So it's like, because I just want to escape into a world. Just get just put my feet up and not think about Republicans for a whole day. Go into a different world. And, I have my cats around me, and I'll eat some snacks and watch some TV and just distract me from this life for a minute. All right, my loves. I love ya. Thank you for hanging out. And, yeah, stay in touch. We have all kinds of places to stay in touch. The Discord page, the Substack. Please subscribe to the Substack. We're trying to build that Political Voices network. And we will. I have a dream that, there's room enough for all here. But we need to get the word out. I do have a dream that the Political Voices network will be as big as, like, the Midas Touch network. And why not? What is the Discord link? Let me see. I think it's in the thingamabob. We went through this the other day, or last show, or something like that. Let me see. Let me see. It's in the description. It does work. It still works. Let me check. Yes, it does. It works. It is there. Yes. So if you look in the description of the show, the Discord link is there. And actually, for your convenience, I'll just put it right in the chat. And I have to say, it's not as active. I haven't really been posting there, but I should. I've been posting. It's hooked up to the Facebook, so it gets it does get regular posts that are being posted, but I should just post. I would post a lot of pictures of the cats and things. I gotta start doing that again. That's what I'll do. It's basically there for us to hang out and talk and get, we can talk and chat there and post our pictures. I will post more pictures of the cats and stuff. I promise. I do. And I will. If you're there, I'm there. All right. I love you. I keep saying I'm going, and I don't. I don't go. This is like the opposite of an Irish goodbye. The Irish goodbye is like, you don't say goodbye, you just leave. I like that too, sometimes. But tonight, this is the long goodbye. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. See you. Hopefully, I'll see you Tuesday at the Political Voices Network with myself and Tara Dublin, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We stick together. We win. I will see you soon. Stay safe.